Excellencies, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to this briefing on the preparations for the 11th Multi-stakeholder Forum on Science, Technology and Innovation for the Sustainable Development Goals, otherwise known as the STI Forum. We are very honored this morning to be joined by the President of the ECOSOC, His Excellency Lok Bahadur Thapa. We are also joined by the co-chairs of the STI Forum, His Excellency Chola Milambo of the Republic of Zambia and His Excellency Gregor Kössler of Austria, as well as representatives of the Secretariat and the UN Interagency Task Team on Science, Technology and Innovation for the SDGs, IATT. So it is my pleasure now to give some opening remarks in my role as moderator and ASG for Policy Coordination of DESA before I give the floor to my neighbors here on the panel. So Your Excellency, Mr. Lok Bahadur Thapa, President of ECOSOC, co-chairs, excellencies, distinguished delegates, and colleagues. I'm pleased to represent the Secretariat and its team at the Department of Economic and Social Affairs at this briefing. With only 5 years remaining until the 2030 deadline, the urgency of our task is clear. In a world facing complex challenges from conflicts and natural disasters to persistent inequalities, science, technology, and innovation remain among our most powerful tools for achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, offer unprecedented opportunities. However, as the Pact for the Future reminds us, we must ensure these tools are developed and deployed ethically, equitably, and affordably for all, leaving no one behind. To ensure that the Forum is fully prepared to deliver on its objectives, we are working closely with the Forum co-chairs, the IATT, the 10-member group, and our colleagues in DG ACM on all aspects of the process, including the timely preparation of the agenda, program, and participants' guide. Excellencies, the 2026 STI Forum, convened by ECOSOC under the strong leadership of its President, His Excellency Lok Bahadur Thapa, provides a vital platform to translate the unparalleled potential of STI into tangible impacts on the ground and in communities. Now, Excellencies, I am honored to now invite His Excellency Mr. Lok Bahadur Thapa, President of the Economic and Social Council, to deliver his welcome remarks. Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, ASG, Biog Sankar, co-chairs, excellencies, distinguished delegates, colleagues. It is my great pleasure to welcome you to this briefing on the 11th Annual Multi-Stakeholder Forum on Science, Technology and Innovations for the SDGs, that is called the STI Forum. The forum scheduled to take place on 6th and 7th May 2026 will convene under the theme Transformative, Equitable and Coordinated Science, Technology and Innovations for the 2030 Agenda and a Sustainable Future for All. This theme couldn't be more timely. With less than 5 years remaining until the 2030 deadline, we find ourselves at a critical juncture. We know that the world is grappling with cascading crises, from conflicts and natural disasters to persistent inequalities and digital divides. In this context, science, technology, and innovations are not optional extras. They are fundamental to our collective ability to deliver on the Sustainable Development Goals. That's why, as President of the ECOSOC, I have given due priority to science, technology, and innovations. we are going to have a special meeting on digital inclusions and youth entrepreneurship on May 5, or day before the STI Forum. Since its establishment in 2015 is a core component of the technology facilitation mechanisms, the STI Forum has served as a vital platform for peer learning, for frontier thinking, and showcasing political solutions, practical solutions. Its multi-stakeholder nature remains its greatest strength, bringing together governments, scientists, engineers, innovators, the private sector, and civil society to bridge divides and accelerate progress. This year, the forum carries added significance. It is the first STI forum to be held since the fourth International Conference on Financing for Development, FFD4, and the Doha Political Declarations. And it will play a critical role in supporting the follow-up to the fact of the future. The outcomes of our discussions in May will directly inform the high-level political forum in July, helping to shape the global conversations in SDG implementations at this make or break moment. I am also pleased to note the continued evolutions of the forum's preparatory process. This year's call for innovations, co-convened with youth partners, received an extraordinary response with over 900 submissions from around the world, a testament to the vibrant and growing community of young changemakers committed to advancing STI for sustainable development. I encourage all member states and stakeholders to engage with these innovators and to support efforts to bring their solutions to scale. None of this would be possible without strong leadership. I'm therefore deeply grateful to the co-chairs of 2026 STI Forum, His Excellency Mr. Chola Milambo, Permanent Representative of the Republic of Zambia to the United Nations, and His Excellency Mr. Gregor Kostler, Permanent Representative Austria to the United Nations. Their visions, their dedications, and their inclusive approach have already shaped a rich and ambitious program. I thank them for their commitment and look forward to seeing how they guide the forum to a successful outcome. I also wish to acknowledge the hard work of the Secretariat, the Department of Economic and Social Affairs, DESA, UNCTAD, the UN Interagency Task Team on STI for SDGs, DGSM, and the 10-member group of high-level representatives whose efforts underpin everything we do. Excellencies, colleagues, the STI Forum is not merely a meeting. It is a space for inspirations, collaborations, and actions. I urge you all to participate actively, not only in today's briefing, but in the months ahead, to ensure that 2026 STI Forum delivers tangible results for people and for planet. I thank you.
I thank the President of ECOSOC for his remarks and his steadfast leadership. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are fortunate to have His Excellency Chola Milambo, the permanent representative of the Republic of Zambia, as well to the United Nations, as well as His Excellency Gregor Kostler, who is the permanent representative of Austria to the United Nations, to serve as co-chairs of the 2026 STI Forum, as we have heard. And it is my pleasure to now invite the co-chairs to deliver their introductory remarks. So, Excellencies, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, ASG Björk Sandkjær. Pleasure to be here today with you. Also, thank you to President of ECOSOC, Lok Tapa. Always a pleasure to be in a joint venture with you. And of course, on behalf of Ambassador Cholo Milambo and myself, I would like to extend our gratitude to you, Mr. President, for entrusting us with the co-chairmanship of the 11th Multi-Stakeholder Forum of Science and Technology and Innovation. We've heard words of inspiration already from the President, and I try to live up to the same level of inspiration. But of course, we're also here to give you some technical details on how we prepare best for the upcoming forum. So first of all, thank you for attending the briefing this morning. The main objective of today's briefing, of course, is to share the information we have so far and to give you a good overview of what we as co-chairs have envisaged for the forum. This should provide you with a good basis for preparing your delegations and your contributions to the forum. Your participation today, especially if you ask us questions, is also valuable to enriching our own preparations and maybe add another idea or two or another personality into. So we encourage your questions and comments. The STI Forum, as you know, established under the Technology Facilitation Mechanism through the Addis Ababa Action Agenda and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, serves as a global and, as the President of ECOSOC has emphasized, multi-stakeholder platform. It facilitates practical and in-depth discussions on a wide range of science, technology, and innovation issues in order to accelerate progress towards the implementation of the SDGs. So the forum really has a role in driving transformation, and this is really crucial. Today, we often feel easily overwhelmed by all the challenges in front of us, not just social divides, but also the rising number of conflicts we see in the world. So it's easy to feel overwhelmed, especially for our young people. And I think one of the ideas here is to inspire youth to find hope and to empower the next generation in the context of the forum. Even if it's challenged by many, science, technology, and innovation remain our best bet for achieving the SDGs. Not some other ideas, but science-based solutions are the best bet for our future, or they are fundamental, as the President of ECOSOC said, to what we do. Emerging technologies, including artificial intelligence, offer powerful tools to reduce poverty and inequality, to ensure access to modern energy and clean water, and to tackle the climate crisis. However, it's critical to facilitate access and do capacity building or step up capacity building so that we make inclusive progress, not just in some regions of the world, but everywhere. And we're committing to ensuring that also this year's STI Forum is inclusive itself. So not just that we have an inclusive agenda, but an inclusive participation and impactful. We really want to see effects on our overall agenda. So what we do is, of course, we will try to strive to ensure, together with the Secretariat, to ensure synergies with other key processes that you're aware of, like the Summit for the Future, its Pact for the Future, the Global Digital Compact, most importantly, or in my view, the Sevilla Compromiso de Sevilla of FFD4, but also the Second World Summit for Social Development held in Doha, and we will also be looking ahead to the UN Water Conference in UAE. May peace be in the region at that point in time, and the 2027 SDG Summit. So one is synergies, and the other one is, of course, that we also look for synergies with the regional STI forums and the work of the UN Commission on Science and Technology and all other stakeholders. And this UN Commission on Science and Technology for Development will take place in Geneva from 20th to 24th of April, as I'm sure you're aware. Most importantly, the STI Forum is mandated to inform the high-level political forum. And I think this is where we define the impact that we can have. As you know, this year's HLPF has the title Transformative, Equitable and Coordinated Science, Technology and Innovation for the 2030 Agenda and a Sustainable Future for All. So as always, there will be a co-chair summary. We will do our best to write up something effective to capture the highlights of the discussion, key messages and recommendations, and this will then be presented by the two of us at the HLPF and thus contribute to the SDG reviews. So that's the let's say the core of the outcome that we strive to achieve. Of course, we also want to identify at the forum, identify and showcase high-impact technologies and practical innovative solutions, as I've mentioned. With regard to the format, the STI forum will be held over 2 days on the 6th and the 7th of May at UN headquarters here in New York. It will comprise opening and closing segments. There will be also a ministerial session, and there are 3 thematic sessions focusing on transforming water systems, powering sustainable development through clean energy technologies, and shaping the future for STI for sustainable development in times of uncertainty and change. I will not elaborate on that because that is what my dear friend Ambassador Milambo Chola will do in his component of the presentation. The high-level ministerial segment will focus on strengthening the science policy nexus to drive sustainable development. But it's the nexus that matters. It's not just a political conference. It is the nexus. We have to bring together the science community and the civil society and the political level in this segment. There is also a call for side events, as you know. There is a pretty strict deadline of the Secretariat, which is at the 16th of March. So if you want to do a side event, you have to be fast. The draft agenda of the STI forum will be available on the forum's website following this briefing, but it will also be sent to all the permanent missions. So if you didn't take good note yet, you have another chance. Now briefly on the ministerial session. We encourage participation from ministers of all relevant fields, and let me be very explicit on that. So that's including science and technology, obviously, but also planning, industrial development, energy, water, food and agriculture, finance, education, research and environment. So you all have a good chance to lobby your ministers to come because there are several you can approach. We do the same, of course. All staff of ministries and government agencies who intend to participate should do this register via the permanent missions, of course, in order to be included in their national delegations. And delegations whose ministers wish to express an interest in speaking, and we encourage that, of course, greatly, during the ministerial sessions should register through the e-speakers module on the e-delegate portal. Inscription will open on the 6th of April and close on Monday, the 27th of April, for the list of speakers. Provisional list of ministers that have expressed an interest in speaking during the session will be circulated prior to the opening of the forum, so you can orient yourselves and your delegations in this context. But it's not only about ministers, as I've said, and this is my last point. We encourage broad participation of chief scientists, technology advisors, heads of research institutions from both the public and the private sectors. And our aim is to benefit from the multi-stakeholder format as much as possible and promote the dialogue between policymakers, researchers, private sector representatives, and other stakeholders during the sessions. And if I may say so, if you have a good idea or a strong personality, innovative personalities, don't hesitate to approach the two co-chairs and our teams to see where we can best fit them into the program. I think this is really crucial. And last point, of course, representative of non-governmental organizations that are credited to the ECOSOC and all other stakeholders who do not possess a valid UN grounds pass and wish to attend the forum are required to register on a dedicated platform. This registration will open on the 16th of March and close on the 21st of April. All those details will be posted on the forum's website. And now I've talked enough. I thank you for your attention, and I invite my dear friend, Ambassador Cholo Milambo, to deliver further details on the preparations. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Such a pleasure to be here. Really, thank you very much, Ambassador Gregor, for your articulation. Very well spelled out. Also want to acknowledge our president here for ECOSOC. And indeed, thank you very much for entrusting us with this responsibility. And thank you very much from us as co-chairs to ASG and her team. Really, this is a very exciting time for us because it's about implementation. And the FFD4 and the GDC tend to intersect right on the STI section. And now at a moment where we can actually translate some of those commitments into practical actions. And so it's such a pleasure to co-chair this forum together with my colleague, Ambassador Gregor. Such a pleasure, sir. I do beg your indulgence. I have a detailed statement to make here, so you bear with me. But I think you appreciate the detail that is in there regarding the 3 areas of the thematic area, so hang tight. All right. Excellencies and distinguished delegates, substantive preparations for the STI Forum are underway, led by the Secretariat, the Secretary General's 10-member group of high-level representatives, and the UN Interagency Task Team and STI for the SDGs, IATT. Special efforts are being made to collaborate with the Secretariat supporting the UN Secretary General's Scientific Advisory Board, the Commission on Science, Technology and Development, CSTD. The STI Forum will bring together these complementary processes and initiatives to strengthen STI for the SDGs. It offers opportunities for engagements, bringing together high-level policymakers and senior government officials, scientists, engineers, innovators, entrepreneurs, and representatives of organizations of organized science and technology communities. I believe this has been already highlighted by our president. Together, we'll discuss and showcase STI solutions for achieving the SDGs. Building on the successes of previous editions of this forum, we strive to further improve participation in this year's forum, and we really elicit your support in this respect. A participant guide will be with details about participation and registration has been published on the website on the 2026 STI Forum. On overall preparations, to prepare for the forum, the Secretariat is encouraging targeted written contributions to the various sessions in the form of science policy briefs, so encouraging science policy briefs. This initiative provides an opportunity for scientists and engineers to bring key issues arising from their research to the attention of policymakers. We hope this will get our UN deliberations closer to the pulse of technological progress. The forum also provides an exciting opportunity to showcase groundbreaking innovations, tackling critical sustainable development challenges, particularly in low-resource settings. This year's call for innovations has been convened by the UN Department for Economic and Social Affairs, DESA, and the Youth Science Policy Interface, SPI platform. Others are the Major Group on Children and Youth, in partnership with Engineering for Change, ASME Innovation Showcase, and others. They work together to empower the next generation of change makers, driving sustainable development through science, technology, and innovation, and focus on advancing SDG under review. This initiative aims to identify and promote promising technology solutions for SDG challenges while fostering collaboration among innovators, communities, and global stakeholders. Selected innovations will be featured at the STI Forum, reaching a global audience of policymakers, experts, and innovators. The call for innovations was announced on the 2026 STI Forum website and circulated in early December 2025. The submission to the call has now closed, receiving an exceptional response of over 900 submissions from around the world, including a significant amount from Africa. The review of the submissions is currently underway. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, let me briefly highlight the 3 thematic sessions that were mentioned by Ambassador Gregor. Session 1 of the forum relates to transforming water systems with science, technology, and innovation, basically water. This session will examine the latest STI developments with strong potential for accelerating progress in the availability of sustainable management of water and sanitation, which is SDG 6. It will explore STI opportunities for water infrastructure and service delivery, effectively SDG 9, and the role of cities as STI solution accelerators, SDG 11. This dialogue will complement themes of the 2026 UN Water Conference, which is coming up, and consider solutions related to informal settlements, livelihoods, gender equality, climate resilience, and digital and nature-based approaches. Session two basically will be about energy, and it's entitled Powering Sustainable Development Through Clean Energy Technologies for Affordable, Reliable, Sustainable, and Modern Energy for All. This session will explore policy solutions for affordable and clean energy technologies, SDG 7, to be deployed at scale, especially in sub-Saharan Africa. It will also examine new and promising innovations in energy, infrastructure, innovation, and sustainable industrialization, which relates to SDG 9, alongside urban energy access, transport, building, and air quality, which relates to SDG 11. Discussions will highlight decentralized energy solutions, city-led clean energy innovations, closing the affordability gap, and successful approaches for integrated clean energy planning and financing. The third session relates to shaping the future of STI for sustainable development in times of uncertainty and change. It's more policy related. This forward-looking session will consider how STI will help decision makers anticipate and respond to systemic risks to sustainable development in an era of rapid change. Discussions will focus on strengthening foresight, governance, trust, planning through STI roadmaps, and international cooperation to steer innovation, including artificial intelligence, towards resilience, equity, and sustainability to 2030 and beyond. The session will bring together inputs from regional and global STI-related forums and expert groups, including the IATT, the 10-member group, and scientific and engineering communities. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, since the inception of the STI Forum, it has operated cumulatively, with each forum building on the discussions and recommendations of the previous ones. We aim to continue this approach, featuring progress made by the UN Interagency Task Team, including follow-up on the severe commitment through a technology assessment to identify obstacles to international technology diffusion, to work on STI roadmaps, capacity building, and knowledge sharing. As co-chairs, we are committed to proactively ensuring gender balance and the meaningful inclusion of youth, including the selection of moderators and panelists. We will also ensure that youth engagement and the empowerment of women and girls are addressed as cross-cutting themes within the context of STI. Over the years, the Global STI Forum has inspired similar multi-stakeholder gatherings in various regions and among specialized groups. For example, the Africa Regional STI Forum, 26 to 27 April, will feed outcomes into the Global Forum and align with the SDG under review. We hope to feature several of these initiatives at the forum to further enhance its networking and matchmaking potential. We welcome your feedback as we continue the preparations. Finally, as our predecessors have done before, we must remind you that the Technology Facilitation Mechanism, the TFM, mandates remain largely unfunded. Dedicated regular budget resources commensurate with the mandate and expectations are still lacking for key components of the mechanism, including participation in the STI Forum, the online technology platform for 2030 Connect, the mandated activities of the 10-member group, and the extensive work of the Interagency Task Team. This funding gap continues to limit the STI Forum's potential and restricts the inclusiveness of the mechanism, particularly the STI Forum, as there are no dedicated resources to support the travel of participants from least developed countries. As the STI Forum enters its 11th year, it is firmly established as the premier annual event for diverse stakeholders to present and share solutions for unleashing the power of STI for the SDGs. To enhance its impact and ensure greater participation from developing countries, financial contributions are essential. In this context, we respectfully solicit your government's kind assistance and contribution to the UN Trust Fund to support the work of the High-Level Political Forum. A dedicated grant will be set up under this trust fund to record pledges, expenditures specifically for the TFM activities, including the STI Forum. For more details, kindly contact our colleagues from the DESA Secretariat. This mechanism has been sustained by voluntary contributions from those who view it as one of the most tangible achievements of the Addis Ababa Action Agenda and the 2030 Agenda. We commend them for their engagement. But in the end, without commensurate funding, reality may simply fall short of many expectations. In concluding, I would like to once again express our gratitude to the interagency task team and the 10-member group for their dedication and hard work. We are also deeply appreciative of the colleagues at DESA, DGACM, and UNCTAD, whose commitment has been instrumental in ensuring the success of this endeavor. Moving forward, we will keep you informed on the progress made and look forward to your active participation in making the 2026 STI Forum a success. We therefore welcome your thoughts and guidance as we continue with this conversation in the lead up to the STI Forum in May and beyond. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Milambo and Ambassador Kössler, for your comprehensive briefing statements. I now would like to open the floor for comments and questions from member states and stakeholders. Just a quick practical reminder that requests for the floor should be made by pressing the microphone button. And another important reminder that interventions are limited to 3 minutes. And I am very pleased to give the floor to Uruguay on behalf of the Group of 77 and China. Uruguay, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, and thank you also, Mr. Chair. I have the honor to deliver this statement on behalf of the Group of 77 and China. The group wishes to express its highest appreciation to the President of ECOSOC and the co-chairs, Zambia and Austria, for this insightful briefing on the progress toward preparation for the STI Forum under the theme Transformative, Equitable and Coordinated Science, Technology and Innovation for the 2030 Agenda and a Sustainable Future for All. Science, technology, and innovation is central in tackling the multidimensional crisis facing humanity and in advancing the development priorities of the Global South. The group's heads of state and government already underscored during the Havana Summit in 2023 the indispensable role of STI for economic diversification, competitiveness, resilience, and sustainable development. STI stands out as a vital enabler of progress. It is a driver of productivity, growth, competitiveness, and effective integration of developing countries into the global economy, and it accelerates the achievement of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its Sustainable Development Goals. Harnessing STI through solidarity, international cooperation, and the exchange of knowledge and technologies is therefore essential to building a more equitable and prosperous future for all. Developing countries recognize the advances and progress achieved. However, we continue to face deep and multifaceted digital divides, while technologies continue to rapidly evolve. The group reiterates the urgent need to support developing countries in building their digital capacities, including through scaled-up investment in infrastructure, education, and training systems, ensuring that the benefit of technological progress are shared equitably. We call for the transfer of technology to developing countries on preferential and concessional terms, alongside strengthening international cooperation in research, innovation, and capacity building. Mr. President, it is crucial to continue to address this issue in international debates, including in the next session of the STI Forum, and to advocate for the interest of developing countries continuously and strongly, so we can deliver a transformative, equitable, and coordinated STI as this year's theme calls for. The group looks forward to participate in the STI Forum next May, which provides an open platform to explore ways to harness science, technology, and innovation for implementing the Sustainable Development Goals for the benefit of all. I thank you.
Thank you to Uruguay on behalf of the Group of 77 and China for your intervention, and not least for sticking to time. I have a list of delegations that have asked for the floor. I will give the floor to El Salvador, to be followed by Morocco. So El Salvador, you have the floor.
Thank you, moderator. ECOSOC President and dear co-chairs, good morning. Thank you so much for providing this valuable information and full support to both of you, dear co-chairs, in this important endeavor. I have the honor to speak in my capacity as co-chair of the Global Dialogue on AI Governance, together with my colleague, Ambassador Rein Tamsar of Estonia. So from the outset, the STI Forum and the Global Dialogue we consider are naturally complementary. The STI Forum serves as a platform to strengthen, as you mentioned, the science policy interface, foster partnerships, and convene governments and stakeholders to advance solutions for sustainable development. And the Global Dialogue that is established by the GA provides a multi-stakeholder platform to facilitate open, transparent, and inclusive deliberations on international cooperation for AI governance, with a view to enabling AI to contribute to the SDGs and also to closing digital divides. So looking ahead and building on the STI Forum's recent experience, dear co-chairs, we will encourage considerations of focus sessions on AI as appropriate. This could serve as a practical channel to gather the multi-stakeholder perspective and identify concrete elements that could feed into strengthen the preparatory process of the global dialogue. So in that same spirit, we will welcome that the deliberations around the 2026 STI Forum, both in preparation and during the forum, help generate practical building blocks that can usefully inform precisely the preparatory process for the first global dialogue on AI in 2026, which the GA has decided to be held in the margins of the ITU AI for Good Global Summit in Geneva. And at the same time, we should look ahead. And the GA also decided that the second global dialogue in 2027 will take place precisely in the margins of the STI Forum in New York. So this creates a clear bridge between the two processes. It means that ensuring complementarity from now, through consistent engagement, coherent agendas, and simple channels to carry forward these relevant insights definitely will strengthen both the STI and the global dialogue. So as co-chairs, our objective is really straightforward. Is to help ensure that the global dialogue is substantive, inclusive, useful, impactful, and that it benefits from the partnerships, but also the perspectives that the STI Forum convenes. So we therefore warmly encourage member states, but also stakeholders engaging in this important STI Forum process, and to also engage in the global dialogue so that ideas, experiences, and proposals emerging in one space can also reinforce in the other in a mutually supportive manner. Thank you, co-chairs. Thank you, moderator.
Thank you. Thank you, El Salvador, on behalf of the co-chairs. I now give the floor to Morocco, to be followed by EOSG. But Morocco, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Coordinator. First of all, we would like to express Morocco's comments and thanks for the President of ECOSOC and our co-chairs for the clear briefing on the preparations of the 11th Multi-Stakeholders Forum on Science, Technology, and Innovation for Sustainable Development Goals. This annual forum has become an important momentum for member states, scientists, innovators, and partners who seek practical ways to mobilize science and technology in support of the Sustainable Development Goals. It also provides a practical setting where the commitments related to digital cooperation, access to technology, and responsible innovation could be examined through concrete experiences and partnerships. Morocco welcomes the theme proposed for this year and attaches its greatest importance to the preparatory phases. A well-structured preparation will help ensure that the discussions in May produce clear and practical guidance for the international digital community. In this regard, Morocco would like to raise the following comments and observations. First, it may be useful to clarify how the discussions of the STI Forum will connect with other ongoing processes within the UN, particularly those dealing with the implementation of the Global Digital Compact and the commitments of CEV on financing for development with the dedicated cluster on STI and its action lines. Greater coherence between these tracks could strengthen the impact of the forum's recommendations. Second, Morocco would welcome further information on how the forum intends to highlight concrete innovation initiatives, especially those originating from developing countries. The current call for innovative solutions linked to the SDGs is an encouraging step, and it would be useful to understand how selected initiatives will feed into the policy discussions of the forum. Third, we believe the forum could give particular attention to partnerships that support capacity building in science and technology. Many countries continue to face limits in research infrastructure, training, and technology access. The forum could serve as a space to promote cooperative platforms between research institutions, universities, and innovation ecosystems across regions. Finally, Morocco looks forward to engaging constructively, and we remain convinced that stronger international cooperation in science, technology, and innovation will be essential for advancing sustainable development and for ensuring that the benefits of technological progress are inclusive and to leave no one behind. I thank you.
Thank you, Morocco. I give the floor to EOSG to be followed by IAEA. So, EOSG.
Thank you. We thank the co-chairs, Mr. President, distinguished co-chairs, delegates, colleagues. We thank the co-chairs, Austria and Zambia, for their leadership of the STI Forum. Now I can also mention their joint venture around the STI Forum. And mention that the Office of the Secretary General attaches great importance to the forum, building on the strong momentum of last year's forum, co-chaired by Finland and Morocco last year. The forum is definitely one of the most prominent platforms within the UN system, designed as a truly multi-stakeholder space, bringing together governments, scientists, innovators, civil society, and the private sector to explore how emerging technologies can accelerate and help us implement the 2030 agenda. Science, technology, and innovation are central to advancing the SDGs, and the forum takes on added significance this year after the adoption of the UNGA Resolution 79325, which has already been referred to, designating it as the venue for next year's global dialogue on AI governance in 2027. Of particular interest is, of course, the discussion around foresight, which is extremely topical today, governance, trust, STI roadmaps, and also international cooperation and partnerships to steer innovation, including AI, towards resilience, equity, and sustainability. And here, STI will be absolutely essential for addressing not just pressing societal challenges, but in particular also the national science, technology, and innovation roadmaps can serve as strategic tools for developing countries to articulate technological priorities, attract investment, mobilize partnerships, and connect innovation policies with strategic foresight and long-term development. EOSG looks very much forward to a highly successful forum and has proposed several prominent speakers, including Nobel laureates in science and members of the Secretary General's Scientific Advisory Board, who have already expressed their eagerness and openness to engagement in the forum. We also encourage member states to ensure strong and vibrant participation at the highest level, reflecting the importance of the forum as a key platform for international dialogue, cooperation, and action on science, technology, and innovation. STI will be essential in the years to come. It is essential this year, and we wish the co-chairs the best in the preparations for the upcoming forum. Thank you.
Thank you to EOSG. Next on my list is ITU. To be followed by the major group of business and industry. Sorry for that confusion. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. President, STI Forum co-chairs, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. Thank you so much for the opportunity to deliver this statement. ITU is a proud member of the Interagency Task Team on STI, and we congratulate the co-chairs, Zambia and Austria, on their appointment. We look forward to supporting your leadership and contributing actively to a successful 2026 STI Forum. On the review of SDG 9 specifically, we wish to highlight the central importance of digital infrastructure, digital capacity development, and particularly Target 9C, which is to significantly increase access to ICTs and strive for universal and affordable internet access, especially in least developed countries. Expanding connectivity is a crucial enabler of progress towards and across the whole 2030 agenda. Yet ITU's latest facts and figures show that 2.2 billion people, more than 1 in 4 globally, most in low and middle income countries, and remain offline, largely excluded from the digital and AI revolutions. To help address such persistent digital divides, we and partners are advancing initiatives such as Partner to Connect, which has mobilized over $82 billion in pledges to support meaningful connectivity and digital transformation in developing countries. GIGA, the UNICEF ITU initiative, which has mapped connectivity in over 2.2 million schools in over 40 countries and helped connect tens of thousands of schools, supporting digital inclusion of children and youth. The Digital Infrastructure Investment Initiative, focused on identifying financing gaps, investment barriers, and solutions for scaling bankable digital infrastructure models. And the Digital Infrastructure Catalyzer, which supports countries in developing coordinated, data-driven digital infrastructure investment plans. There is also the AI for Good platform and the 2026 AI for Good Global Summit, which will take place in Geneva in July, immediately following and in the same location as the inaugural UN Global Dialogue on AI Governance, co-chaired by El Salvador and Estonia. There is also the AI Skills Coalition, bringing together partners across the UN, private sector and academia to support inclusive digital and AI skills development for developing countries. AI capacity development is indeed in high demand. At the ITU World Telecommunication Development Conference in 2025, ITU member states adopted resolutions on AI capacity development. There is also, of course, the WSIS Plus 20 outcomes, the Global Digital Compact, and the AI Modalities Resolution, which speak to AI capacity development. ITU and partners are very much guided by these outcomes in our work in helping countries safely and effectively leverage AI technologies and close digital divides. For STI Forum 2026, as we have done for the last 2 years, ITU and partners are planning an AI for Good lab as a side event that we'll be proposing. This year, the lab would focus on the UN systems work on AI capacity building, highlighting practical approaches to strengthening national readiness, skills, and institutional capabilities for AI adoption. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much to ITU, and I apologize for my slight confusion on the order of the list of speakers. So I will reference now the list of speakers that I have in front of me. So I'm going to give the floor now to IAEA, to be followed by 2 major groups, business and industry and science and technology. So I give the floor to IAEA. Sorry, IAEA.
President, Mr. Co-chairs, distinguished delegates, for the first time in decades, international financing institutions are preparing to support the world's most reliable source of clean energy, nuclear power, and the IAEA is helping countries access this financing. Nuclear power, while providing major benefits like stabilizing grids to enable more intermittent renewables and decarbonize other hard-to-abate sectors, has previously been out of reach for many LMICs given the intense capital needs. The IEA has been working for years to unlock access to financing for innovative nuclear energy and nuclear-related infrastructure. Now, through major new innovative partnerships with some of the largest development banks in the world, the IEA is heralding a new era of energy-related development finance. For the first time, IFIs are actively engaging with the IEA and its member states on concrete nuclear-related projects. Through technical advisory and capacity building, the IEA is working with IFIs to prepare frameworks for critical nuclear energy projects. The IEA is also working with countries in building energy planning capacity and formulating science-based energy policy, as well as in preparing infrastructure for expanding or embarking on nuclear energy projects. Access to nuclear and nuclear-derived technologies and applications is critical in accelerating progress towards sustainable development. Nuclear innovation drives industrial applications and supports the development of advanced materials for resilient infrastructure. In managing water, it is thanks to nuclear techniques, particularly isotope hydrology, that we can map aquifers, access water age and recharge rates, and trace sources of pollution with utmost accuracy. In climate-vulnerable nations, these techniques are essential for building drought resilience and ensuring food security. All of these technological solutions are only available to the countries who need them with sufficient finance. The IEA is focused on ensuring that adequate finance is available to support the integration of nuclear techniques and applications with other advanced technologies, such as artificial intelligence, to create holistic solutions to complex challenges. To ensure resilience in developing countries, financing for affordable, clean nuclear energy, as well as other nuclear techniques and applications, must be unlocked. The IEA stands ready to help every country make that a reality. I thank you.
Thank you to IAEA, and it is now my pleasure to give the floor to the representative of the major group of business and industry. You have the floor.
Good morning, Excellency, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. I speak today on behalf of the Business and Industry Group, which is co-chaired by IOE and USCIB. As we look forward to the 2026 STI Forum, we see a historic opportunity to move from what to the delivery and scaling of our joint efforts. We aren't just here to discuss technology, we are here to operationalize it. The private sector is a key partner in achieving this agenda. Our focus is now on the last mile of innovation, ensuring that science and technology are fully embedded in the real economy. When we talk about private sector, we're talking about a massive grounded reality. Through the IOE network alone, we represent 50 million companies in over 150 countries. Crucially, this vast majority of these are SMEs. These millions of businesses are where the green and digital transitions must be realized. We need operational partnerships that link global technology providers directly to local networks and ensure that AI and digital tools actually reach the small factory floor and rural entrepreneurs. We also have to address the financial architecture. There is a staggering $5.7 trillion finance gap for SMEs. These businesses aren't failing because they lack ideas. They're failing because they often lack the traditional collateral required by older lending models. The STI Forum can operationalize a solution by championing data-driven lending partnerships, by bringing together fintech, traditional banks, and governments to treat SMEs' digital footprint as a bankable asset. We can finally unlock capital for industrial modernization. As we move forward, we must be mindful of the transition for SMEs that navigate the global digital standards and ESG reporting. We therefore ask that, Excellencies, as we move forward, let's not move forward in isolation. Let's co-design, co-invest in the outcome. We suggest that the private sector should be represented by all. While multinationals are critical, SMEs are the companies of all sizes and geographies and industries. Let's not wait for the forum. Let's already identify the wealth of existing information on how-to, on data technology, and inclusive governance. Business is here, ready to move forward on the how and doing. Let's make sure that the forum is a place where global partnerships finally become operational. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the representative of the Business and Industry Major Group. It is now my pleasure to give the floor to the representative of the Scientific and Technological Community Major Group.
Excellencies, I'm here on behalf of the STC Major Group, co-organized by World Federation of Engineering Organizations and the International Science Council. We've been here since 1992. STC Major Group was one of the 9 original major groups. When Agenda 2030 was approved in 2015, we've been here also supporting this activity in a number of ways, from special events at the STI Forum, the high-level political forum, reviews of global sustainable development reports, research guides, sectoral papers, paragraph 89 reports, and more recently assisting in organizing partnership forums. This year we worked very closely with our partners in business and industry on SDG 9. Last year we worked with UNEP on SDG 14, 2024, FAO on SDG 3. We look forward to working with the group again this year. Our preference would be to take the lead on a special event as we did in 23 and 24. The next 4 years are critical for Agenda 2030, as everybody has mentioned, and bridging technologies employed broadly can help achieve the goals by 2030. We continue to believe, as I'm sure you do, that STI applied ethically and in ways respectful of human rights can accelerate progress on Agenda 2030. However, the discussions for STI, for the SDGs, are siloed, and we believe we all need to do a much better job at communicating the role and value of STI for the SDGs to member states and to all stakeholders. The STC Major Group is an active member of the Major Group and other stakeholders coordinating mechanism, and we will continue to communicate to our colleagues the importance of STI for the SDGs. The discussions of STIs for the SDGs, especially at the forum, need to emphasize the integrated nature of the SDGs and the need for a systems approach. If we are assigned a special event, we would again engage as many of our MGOS colleagues as possible and focus this year on integrated and accelerated approaches to SDGs 6, 7, 9, 11, focusing on the essential services targets. A sustainable and resilient city depends on sustainable and resilient water, energy, and infrastructure systems. Bridging systems using existing technologies off the shelf must be planned and deployed now to provide essential services for all, no one left behind. The permanent systems that must follow to replace the bridging systems must not only be financed and built, but they must also be operated and maintained for sustainability and resilience over their entire life cycles. And I point to the UN DESER report, Managing Infrastructure Assets for Sustainable Development. It's available, widely shared. And also member states, and I think been pointed out earlier, they committed to this infrastructure goal in Seville. We appreciate the excitement around AI and AI more specifically for accelerating progress on the SDGs. We also believe AI has the potential to greatly improve UN processes for bringing timely information to the HLPF, leading to more robust and impactful ministerial declarations. Currently, much of the valuable information that's collected from UN entities and stakeholders during the annual cycle never reaches the HLPF in a timely and usable form. We believe AI can help, it already is helping, and it will continue to improve. It's more than AI and Gen AI, but it's also creating demand for additional infrastructure, several people have pointed out, especially energy, water, and digital infrastructure systems. We believe it would be helpful this year to review and emphasize the role and impact that digital and AI is already playing, specifically on SDGs 6, 7, 9, 11. This should be done with concrete examples. Stakeholder concerns over AI threats are legitimate, and it's important that all in the STI community work together to build trust with all stakeholders, that all advanced and emerging technologies, including AI, will be used in ways that are ethical and respectful of human rights. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you to the Science and Technology Major Group. And with that, we have concluded the list of speakers. Thank you, all of you, for your contributions to this discussion. So with that, I would like to invite the co-chairs and Your Excellency Chola Milambo to respond to the comments made and questions raised.
Yeah,
so, Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you so much. First, let me acknowledge the various contributions that have been made. Really appreciate the engagement and the rich feedback. This is why we are here, to really hear from you and enrich the planning process. I do want to also acknowledge the presence of our multi-stakeholders who are here and for your input. Listen very carefully regarding issues of importance of operationalizing technology, the challenges around SME financing, which is really critical, and also taking a scientific, systems approach to dealing with some of these issues. I want to also acknowledge and just concur with the views regarding addressing the digital divide that was raised by ITU and also the representative from G77. We do take note of the importance there regarding digital infrastructure. Very valid points. Perhaps let me just address, I think there was a question on artificial intelligence, a suggestion that we were encouraged to have a session on artificial intelligence in the discussion. We want to bring your attention, draw your attention to section 3, which covers specifically shaping the future of STI for sustainable development in times of uncertainty and change, which is really an area where we can focus on artificial intelligence. This is a forward-looking session to consider how STI can help decision makers anticipate and respond to systemic risks. And I think this is the right area where we can actually embed artificial intelligence into the discussion. But needless to say, artificial intelligence currently permeates almost every sector. And so even as we discuss energy, we'll discuss water, I'm sure we'll hear how artificial intelligence is actually accelerating the processes that are taking place in those various sectors. So I just wanted to reassure you that we have heard the views from El Salvador, and that I think we are more or less, we have a provision for it in the program under session 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ambassador Köstler, would you like to respond? And if you do, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Very briefly on the question on the questions posed by Morocco, I think on the link to F54 financing aspects, I think we will have a very comprehensive conclusions of the co-chairs, so we'll factor that in. But of course, it's also in the thematic sessions where this can be addressed and prepared for prepare the ground for that summary. So I think that answers that. On partnerships, universities, again, I'll link this to my call for mobilization of finding innovative participants. Of course, that's the whole idea, that we have university or science representatives to connect each other at the session or in the run-up to the session. I think that's important. The youth aspect I want to emphasize again, as it was said, this inclusiveness that was mentioned by several delegations. I think it will be very important to have that. Digital divide, which was mentioned by G77 plus China, I think we have strongly factored that into the program, so we are very responsive to that. I think I'll leave it at that, and again thank my fellow co-chair, the president, and the ASG for their help. Thank you.
Well, Thank you very much to the co-chairs for your response. And with that, I would like to thank His Excellency Lok Bahadur Tapa, President of ECOSOC, for your leadership and participation, and also extend my deep gratitude to our co-chairs, Ambassador Milambo and Ambassador Kössler, for your guidance and commitment to this process. So all that remains is for me to thank Member States and representatives from stakeholder groups for your active participation and valuable contributions in today's discussion. With that, the briefing on the preparations for the 11th Multi-stakeholder Forum on Science, Technology and Innovation for the Sustainable Development Goals is now concluded.